Generative AI is a very hot topic in video games right now. Obviously, this is a very interesting concept. For better or for worse, essentially it could allow your game to learn, to grow, to have adaptive features, where you could have endless dialogue options with NPCs, endless quest opportunities. The list could go on, but on the flip side, it could also obviously lower the quality of the game. Yeah, it wouldn't motivate creativity as much. It could allow developers to cut corners in many ways. And of course, a lot of talented artists in the gaming atmosphere could lose their jobs to AI. So it's obviously a double-edged sword. A lot of people and a lot of companies have discussed this and have expressed where they stand on it. I know that Xbox, Microsoft has said that they are interested in exploring generative AI to see what it can do for their games. And I know Square Enix has come under fire recently about, I believe, a few months ago. They said they were all in on it, and then about a month ago, they kind of retraced their steps. They kind of flipped on that and said they want to be more cautious due to some backlash on their original comment. But Nintendo hasn't really said much about AI, at least from what I have seen in recent years. So a lot of people have been curious, what is Nintendo's stance on generative AI, and that is actually exactly what the president of Nintendo, Shuntaro Furukawa, was asked during a recent Q&A with investors. Now, Furukawa said that while he understands and acknowledges the creative potential of generative AI, he kind of actually sees more problems than solutions, or bad things rather than good things, that could come of generative AI in the future, and he is actually saying that he's not interested in Nintendo pursuing this going forward. He acknowledged actually that for decades now, Nintendo and pretty much every video game company has used AI to some degree, or technologies similar to AI to, for example, control NPC enemies, or NPC characters in general. I mean, geez, think back to Super Smash Bros. 64. Playing against the computer players, I mean, that is in its own sort of way AI. But that being said, Furukawa acknowledged that going forward, now we're in 2024, a lot has changed since then. He said that kind of seeing where things are going now with generative AI, he could see that it could cause Nintendo a lot of problems, mainly with issues concerning intellectual properties or IPs. Yeah, you know how Nintendo is very big on protecting their own IPs and not branching out that much with other IPs, with the obvious exception of the recent Super Smash Bros. So Furukawa basically said, hey, with this generative AI, he was concerned of the potential of AI programs going so far, being so advanced, that they could use other companies' IPs in first-party Nintendo games, and that could be a very obvious issue for Nintendo. So while the reasons for the Nintendo president's stance on generative AI are more motivated in IP issues rather than keeping good morals or preventing a lack of creativity, I gotta say it's pretty good to hear that Nintendo's stance on generative AI going forward is mostly to stay away from it. Nintendo has great IPs, great games. There is a lot of creativity in that company. I would hate to see something like AI reduce the quality of the Nintendo we know.